Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Steven, and I want to speak on the situation between Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna. This was actually a request by YouTube user Melissa Cano. So shout out to you, Melissa. Thanks a lot for requesting this. And she had requested this um, under the, or rather in the context of when swirling goes wrong, right? And I do find this a little interesting, Melissa, because Melissa Cano, she had mentioned that she was in an interracial relationship. I believe she is married to a Latino, Hispanic, Latin American man of Mexican origin, right? And she is a black woman. So it seems like Melissa may be like a swirler who is still logical and realistic, because sometimes when people swirl, sometimes logic and realism seem to go out the window for some reason. Not being shady, but sometimes, sometimes people just think that swirling is just the answer to just all their problems in life. Just swirl, right? Just swirl. So shout out to you, Melissa, for, at least seemingly being realistic about things, right? Seemingly being logical, at least, right? So shout out to you, Melissa. All right, so I guess another thing before I get into this, what are Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna famous for? I guess Blac Chyna dated Tyga, but what he barely famous too. His biggest accomplishment is dating Kylie Jenner at this point. Let's be real. As far as Rob Kardashian, what is his claim to fame? I'm a Kardashian and I overeat. I'm a Kardashian and I lack physical health. Like, what's his claim to fame at this point? Being fat shamed by his family, especially his evil mom. Like, what's his claim to fame? I don't know. Not being shady, but like, why are these folks famous, right? What happened when you had to have like a talent to be famous, right? Because at one point we were like, well, this person doesn't seem very talented when we would talk about their fame, right? And be like, why are they so famous? They ain't that talented, right? But at least they had like a talent, or at least halfway some type of a talent, though. These folks here, what their talent is? What? I don't know. Someone, if you know, please let me know in the comment section. All right. But let's get into this. And I don't really plan to be spending too much time on these folk, because I don't think they're worth that much time. All right. But in the context of swirling, this is an interesting thing to talk about, though. All right, so Rob Kardashian posted some nude pics of Blac Chyna because Blac Chyna cheated on Rob Kardashian, and this was like, quote unquote, as some people are calling it, revenge porn, right? Which I think he could be, possibly facing some punishment or, legal action against him or some sort, from what I've been hearing. But yeah, he posted these pics of Blac Chyna, naked, in the nude as revenge because she cheated on him with a dude named, I guess, Rory True. Never heard of him either. Yeah, and I think there was like a picture of Rory and Blac Chyna floating around. Perhaps Rory may have been wearing something of Rob Kardashian's as well. I don't know. But, all right, so when swirling goes wrong, all right? I will say, in this particular case, I don't think Blac Chyna was the one who felt like swirling could end all be all. To be honest, I think Chyna probably entered into this relationship being very logical and very realistic, right? She was like, hey, I see this trick ass nigga over here, and let me see if I can get some money and some fame off of this nigga, right? Because, Blac Chyna, she comes from the world of scripting, right? The script club world, right? So, contrary to what some people believe, scripters are very smart and very cunning when they want to be, right? Because they got to be able to deal with the drug dealers, the gang bangers, thugs, pimps, other scripters trying to hone in on their territory. Yeah, they got to be able to deal with that, right? So I'm sure Blac Chyna was able to, read Rob Kardashian, man. Easy prey, right? Fat, low self-esteem, getting beat up in the media, desperate for some love and attention, you know, very easy prey, all right? So for her, I feel like she entered this relationship being very logical and very reasonable, very realistic, right? She just gonna get the money and go, right? Get the fame and be gone, all right? However, on Rob's end, I don't think he was on the same page as Blac Chyna. Because I kind of thought they were both in cahoots at one point. Like, okay, let's just do this, get some fame, blah, blah, blah. But apparently Rob Kardashian, right, was the one who perhaps felt like this relationship could be the best thing ever since sliced pizza, right? But I don't know how you couldn't have saw this coming, though. I mean, come on, I saw this coming, and I ain't even nowhere near you guys. I'm just watching you guys through the media, and I saw this coming, and a lot of other people did too. It was like, how could you not see this coming, right? But apparently, Rob did not see this coming. Apparently, Blac Chyna put her stripper game on him, and got him believing in all they love or whatever. But yeah, notice, right? When Rob was mad, right? He wanted to cut her, right? He wanted to stab her, right? I guess maybe she cut him, so now he wants to stab her. Like, oh, let me, publish these pictures, right? And I think oftentimes when black women get into, black men too, but in this case, I guess we can talk about black women who get into these interracial relationships, right? They feel like, oh, this person won't be like a black person, right? Because black people are so negative, right? Black people don't have money. Black people don't have manners. Black people don't have class like these other people over here, right? It's like so many negative things, right? But then it's like, well, what happened to this, manners and class in this situation, But of course, swirl us with the mindset of, everything but white, or rather, everything but black is right, right? We'll find a reason to excuse this, right? Because their logic and reasoning have gone out the window, right? So the girl who swirls, if she even speaks on this, right? We'll probably find some reason to just excuse it, like she excused Dylan Roof, even though he wasn't in an interracial relationship, right? Like she excused that dude who, embarrassed her on a live stream and got her crying and got her wondering where the black men are to protect her, right? Versus asking, where are the white men to protect her since she is with a white man, right? Also, feeling entitled to black folk when you outside in the community, That is something that I think swirlers need to be aware of. When you go outside in the community, you are no longer entitled to black people, right? If we come to your defense, okay, all right? Be appreciative, but don't be expecting that as a swirler. Both the men and the women, all right? I ain't just going for the women, both people, because both people be thinking that they entitled to black people when you go outside in the community, feeling like they're entitled for their kids to be black after they've had them outside the community, wanting to bring them back into the community, right? I've done a whole video about that. As well, thinking that we are supposed to support your projects, your TV shows, your movies, this, that, and the third, just because you black, but you want to go outside the community though, right? So I just find that a little odd that, you know, these black folks be feeling entitled to some black support when you ain't really in the community like that. You know, you got one foot outside the community with this other person, but you feeling like you can have some black support just because, like, I feel like you need to be putting in a whole lot of work if you expecting some support. You know, you can't be totally outside the community and want to come back or expect support while still, even when you do get the support, like OJ, right? OJ got the support. Where he at? Well, he in jail, but where he at? Where he went back? He still went with the white women. He never gave his sister another chance or a chance anymore, right? Even after they came to his defense in the trial, right? But that's another story, though. But, you know, I don't think Blac Chyna is really sweating too much about this, honestly. But it's really is more like the point, though. It's like these guys, you know, probably do kind of come off as being, you know, quote unquote Prince Charming, because, you know, some of these swirlers, you know, some of these swirlers have an aversion to blackness. I think aversion. I think that's the right word. Yeah, you know, they have sort of a disdain for blackness to an extent, right? And seeing these other men as being the Prince Charming, right? Who will save them from blackness. And black men or black women. Well, I guess black men in this case. But yeah. Feeling like they're going to save them from, you know, blackness, right? But, you know, the fairy tale, right, turns into a horror story at some point. A lot of times, you know. For the swirlers who are not realistic, it kind of does, right? Well, like Tiger Woods, after all this mess he went through with these white women, you know, he's still chasing after Becky, after Rebecca, after Sarah, except Lindsay, right? He's still chasing after these women, like, you know. But Tiger Woods is a whole nother story in itself, right? That's a whole nother story in itself, right? Because he doesn't really even probably want to claim a black identity, right? Even though all his experiences in society seem to circle around and center around blackness versus Asianness, Caucasianness, Ablasianness, etc., right? But as far as Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna are concerned, you know, yeah, it's like, I guess we perhaps maybe expected a little bit more from Rob Kardashian, maybe just because we haven't really seen him acting in a negative way, you know? But it's like, okay, what if Rob Kardashian was a black man and he did this? You know, how would these swirlers react then? Who would be normally big upping Rob Kardashian, you know? They would be like, oh, you know, that's terrible, that's horrible. Look, this is why I don't date black men. They're so petty and bitter. You didn't have to do that. And also, notice, you know, like, they have a child together. So that's different, right? This is like the mother of your child that you're putting out here like this, right? But then again, that's Rob Kardashian's fault too. Like, why you gonna come in a scripper, you know, a sex worker? Why you gonna put your seed in a sex worker? All right, or at least, like, I don't know if she's still sex working or, you know, scripting. I don't know for sure. She probably getting some good child support checks from Tyga. Probably not like spectacular, but something to live on at least. And plus, she has like her own business stuff too on the side, I think too. Plus, she's probably getting some money from Rob at this point, or at least was, too. You know. But yeah, it's like, notice this woman's reputation though. So I mean, side-eyeing these dudes who want to, you know, come all up in a stripper and get her pregnant and have the kid, have, you want this woman to be taking care of your kids, especially your daughter. You want your daughter to be modeling herself after this woman. I don't know what be going through these dudes' minds sometimes. I really don't. I don't know. I know sometimes when it comes to men, common sense and logic can go out the door when you know you're aroused. I know, but still, you could just wear a condom. But they had the kid for like publicity, and to get a TV show perhaps too. That's another issue too. So yeah, this whole interracial relationship here in this situation, it shouldn't have even happened. I don't know. I don't think swirlers, to be honest, even use this interracial relationship as like, to put on their pedestal, like, oh, this is like such a beautiful union. This is when swirling goes right, right? I don't think they ever looked at this relationship to begin with as like a reason to swirl. I don't think so. I don't, as illogical and unrealistic as some of these swirlers can be, I don't think they were doing this though. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing that though. But let me bring this video to a close. I was all over the place in this video, but to bring about my point ultimately is I feel like you should be realistic when it comes to swirling. You should be reasonable when it comes to swirling. You should be logical when it comes to swirling if you plan on doing that, right? While swirling can sort of take you away from some of the issues in the Black community, right? It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's going to be a crystal staircase and that it's going to be a wonderful fairy tale ending for you, right? And as far as swirling in general, I feel like as a collective, this is not an answer to our problems as far as like, the problems we have between Black men and Black women. I don't think this is a solution to that. On an individual level, perhaps this could be a solution for, the individual Black woman or the individual Black man. But as a collective, no. Swirling will not help us. As a community, it will not help us. It will just further the divide, right? And ultimately just eradicate the community, right? Because think about it. If we all decided to swirl, every Black person swirls, who gonna be upkeeping the Black community? The Black community is gonna be in trouble if everybody is swirling, honestly. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So again, shout out to Melissa Cano. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this video served the purpose that you would like it to serve for you and for others. Swirlers and potential swirlers, both Black men and Black women, both. So thanks a lot for watching. Adios and goodbye for now.